Hello everyone, I'm Ryan.
This is Jaylin here.
And in this series, we'll be talking about Narra Residences, which will be launching in January 2025.
Narra Residence will be the first project that is under harmonization in the dairy farm area as well. Without further ado, let's just jump into our video analysis. So this time we will do our video differently. We will start with the common concern in this area. Because most of the clients that we meet today, we're talking about Narra Residence, they have this concern of whether this project can buy or not because it's at a very ulu place. Next, we will follow by the project info and also layout analysis.
Let us talk about some of the concerns that the buyers have in this area. First thing first is definitely the supply. Especially for the past few years, we have dairy farm residences followed by botany that's going to TOP soon. And from what I understand, there's going to be 5 more plots that is coming up. Definitely this will pose as a concern to buyers. Will this area over here be oversaturated with condo? And yet at the same time, there are lesser demand coming into this area. So what do I mean by lesser demand? I'm sure fellow agents may know if today you get a listing in the dairy farm or the Hillview area, right? First thing that comes to your mind is that, wow, it may be very difficult to sell. Of course, the next thing that we'll be talking about is that the profits did not realize a lot for the new launches, especially in dairy farm residences. So why we have this is that if you compare to the similar phase of launch, I still remember after dairy farm launch, before that was actually Treasure at Tampines. So they were considered the same batch of new launches. But if we look at the resale performance, definitely Treasure at Tampines is performing a lot better as compared to dairy farm. Of course, the last concern that people may have is that if today I were to enter into Narra Residences, who will actually buy from me in future if I were to sell next time? So I just want to, first of all, acknowledge that all these are genuine concerns that people have, and basically we really cannot guarantee, even after our thorough research, we cannot guarantee that today if you were to buy Narra and exit maybe in 4 to 5 years time, you will be able to walk away with a handsome profit. But of course, in our research, right, we do have a lot of stats that shows that in the next 5 to even 10 years time, there will be a lot of demand coming into this area. So why is this so? Later we'll look into it a bit more. Last thing, why is it important for you to know all this information? If today you have all these facts and figures in mind, right, you will be able to, number one, make a wiser decision, and number two, if you look at the prices now, in fact, the developer also have fear in this area. That's why they are actually pricing their product very sensitively. If today you are able to know all this and we are able to take advantage of it, will there be an opportunity or not? This is what I will leave it to you. So now let me talk about the dairy farm residences actually lose money for those people who buy into this product. Let's take a look. You can see that this is the transactions in dairy farm residences. The one that make the biggest profit is actually a 4-bedroom at 1335 square feet. The rest of the highest profitability clock are all your 3-bedroom. You can see that for the 2 bedrooms over here, they managed to clock in around 170 plus K worth of profit. So I would say that over here, all the unit types actually do make profit. But if you ask me who actually make the most, I would say that the 3 and 4 did perform better, especially you can just take a look at the annualized percentage. The 3 and 4 actually clocked in a higher profit at the shortest amount of time, whereas compared to the 2-bedroom over here. So if you ask me where is the trend moving forward in this area for D23, right, I can say that those people who buy in this area are mostly looking for own stay and they are more prone towards the bigger unit type. So how do we know whether Narra have a chance to exit? Or rather, if today I have a listing in Dairy Farm or Hillview area, right, the listing is hard to move. How come is it like that? We will need to know all these numbers. So first up, I would like to talk about the supply in 2023 to 2025. So over here, you can see that in this period of time, right, we have Midwood, Dairy Farm Residences, Arden, So Acres, and Wonderville is EC. So we will be using the MOP period. Inns is EC as well. And lastly, Mont Botanic. So during this period of time, right, there is actually 3,500 plus condo coming into the market. Next, we look at where are the demand coming from to absorb all these condo. We also want to know next time who are the people buying from us, right? Over here, right, I just use the West region
So your west region is include which area?
I'm referring to region like Bukit Batok, Choa Chu Kang. I think recently these are some of the BTOs that's upcoming in this area. Just the MOP for this region, we are looking at 7,900 plus units. So if we were to look at the direct ratio, 7,900 plus buyers absorbing into 3,500 plus units, right?
This one is not fair comparison because not all 7,900 people will upgrade.
Correct. If we look at the direct ratio, right, it's actually 2:1, meaning 2 buyers will actually buy 1 unit. But just now what Jelly mentioned is that not all buyers will definitely come out to upgrade. So if we were to just take a 10 to 20% example, that will mean that there is 1,500 plus buyers if I were to use a 20% ratio to upgrade. If we were to look at this, 1,500 plus buyers to absorb 3,500 plus unit, right? Actually, it's not great. We are looking at 3 to 4 units. I can only find 1 buyer. I just want to say that right now, it's just one word over here: oversupply.
Which also means that one buyer coming to this area, actually they have 3 to 4 units as their options lah.
You're right. I would say sellers in this area right now, when it comes to selling, right, they have to put in more effort. Like they have to dress up the house nicely, or they have to price their units very attractively. Coming back to the supply again, we have Hugh Haven that's going to TOP in 2027, The Mist, Botany, Narra, TOP in 2028, and Copen Grand, MOP in 2030. So we are taking into this period of time 2026 to 2030.
Hey, don't mind I ask you a question. How come you take this period of time?
Because that's where Narra residents TOP in 2028, and potentially, if I'm an owner over there, I'm able to sell after clearing my seller's stamp duty of 4 years. I will need to know my competitors in future, and I will also need to know where are the demand coming from in this period of time. So when it comes to demand, I will be taking again for reference the HDB MOP in the West region. But this round, you will see that the numbers increase greatly. Because why? There's one township that the government actually developed a lot, which is Tengah. For the past few years, government has aggressively rolled out a lot of BTO projects. In fact, they are going to MOP in this period of time, which in fact pushes up the whole HDB MOP to 20,000 units. To put it into simple ratio, right, 20,000 buyers absorbing 2,300 plus units, I will have a ratio of 9 buyers fighting for 1 unit. In fact, if I were to take just 20%, who wishes to upgrade, I will have 4,000 plus buyers coming out. That will be 4,000 plus buyers absorbing to 2,300 plus units. There will be 2 buyers fighting for 1 unit, which is totally different from what we've seen currently. Right now, it's 3 to 4 units, 1 buyer is fighting for it. Future, 2 buyers fighting for 1 unit. So in summary, if you see all these numbers, the demand for D23 will increase exponentially in years to come. There's also a possibility that next time you want to exit, when you have all this demand, you are able to exit safely.
So just now Ryan is running through the demand and supply. I believe not only Narra residents, be it you want to buy another resale or another project, it's important to understand the demand and supply coming from before you make a decision which type of layout to go into. So another thing that is also very important to know is whether this chunk of demand they are able to afford to buy over our unit in the future or not. So now let me dive into the figures to make you understand more on this portion. So just now Ryan mentioned there will be a lot of demand coming from Tengah area. So today we will use Tengah as an example to dive into the calculation itself. For a BTO owner in Tengah, when they purchase from HDB directly, the 4-room flat is starting from 290k. So today, our expected selling price, we will use the nearest Bukit Batok cluster as a gauge. So for the Bukit Batok area, the 4-room flat, the highest transacted have reached 830k. But of course, to be fair, moving forward when Tengah MOP, there will be a lot of supply. So to be fair, we use 760k as a gauge. For example, a BTO owner in Tengah, they cash out in 5 years later whether they can afford to buy our Narra or not. When they purchase the Tengah BTO direct from BTO, just now is starting from 290k. Of course, today we use 300k to be more conservative. So for this example, we can see the proceed from this particular Tengah BTO owner is about 460k. This one can combine cash plus CPF. Next, we need to see is the Narra residents. Today, the indicative price is out. will be starting from 1009 PSF. For this calculation, I will use particularly 3-bedder at 18 square feet. They are
I
starting.
think why she's using this 3-bedroom 818 is also because we are using the 4-room HDB as a simulation. So 4-room HDB seller, usually when they upgrade, what will they choose? A 3-bedroom. So we'll use that to do a very good simulation.
Correct, at least 3-bedroom. For example, today we entered Narra residence at 18 square feet at 1.65 million. In future, 4 years later, when they clear the SSD, when they come to sell, they will sell it at 2 million and see whether this pool of demand people are able to afford this price or not. So for a 2 million property, 25% down payment plus the stamp duty is equivalent to 570k. The estimate proceed is about 460k, and the down payment for this 2 million property is about
569.
There's gap of 100k.
100k.
Some of the owners, while they are waiting for their MOP, these 5 years they can do their cash saving. But I would say this is not necessarily the case because they can do CPF saving as well. We can see that based on the Straits Times research, for Singapore combined household average income is about 11.5k per month. So this 11.5k will look at the OA amount that they contribute monthly. This OA amount, they can use it to the monthly installment every month to pay for the property and also the down payment. Their combined income is 11.5 per month, which also means that every month they are paying 2,006 into their OA account. So this amount can take out to pay the monthly installment. But to be more fair, maybe after MOP or for those that household is within 35 to 45 age range, their OA will be lesser 2004. So today we are more conservative. We take 2004 as an example.
Okay.
So just now I mentioned for 4-room flat, they purchase direct from HDB is about 300k. So which means within these 5 years MOP, they are paying monthly installment. The monthly installment is about $1,000. This one is assumed they are taking maximum loan from HDB, 2.6%. So just now we mentioned contribute per household is about 2004. So we can see that here is what we call CPF saving. Every month there is a surplus into their CPF is about 1,003. Why is this so important? Because within this MOP period, you can do nothing, you can't sell your house. Then you do this saving 5 years plus 12 months, then it will be equivalent to this 100k already. So after MOP, they can technically take this 100k, pump into just now the proceed from their house, then they upgrade to a 2 million worth of property. So to conclude, it's important to understand your surrounding demand and supply. Next is whether this chunk of demand they can able to afford your unit or not. For this example, I'm using 3-bedder as a calculation. For Narra residence 4 and 5-bedder, I predict the demand will be more from the private owner. Maybe 2-bedder, 3-bedder owner, but I'm not going to do the calculation over here. If not, it will be very lengthy. If you are looking for 4-bedder and you want more detailed analysis, feel free to contact us, maybe over a coffee.
More in-depth analysis based on your situation.
Yeah, correct. So now let's run through the project info for this Narra residence. Narra residence is a 99 leasehold project. There is total 8 blocks. Highest will be 16 story. There is block at 13 story. So total unit of this particular project is 540 units. Key thing is under the residential unit, there is 4 commercial units and there is 546 Carpark lot provided for this particular project. The location is just opposite the Dairy Farm Mall and is along the Petir Road over here. So along the Petir Road here is our Helium Mall. Within walking distance, you can reach the hill view. About 15 minutes, I would say. So now let's look at the site plan. For the main entrance will be facing inwards over here. So there will be a lot of inwards facing that's combined of small unit and big unit. And key thing is along this Petir Road, there is not a lot of unit, so that will not have very noisy kind of facing. So the unit type for this particular project is 1-bedder up to 5-bedder. But for the 1-bedder, actually there's only 3 units, so we will not dive into this particular layout.
And to add on, all the 1-bedrooms are ground floor unit. Next, we talk about the 2-bedrooms. So for 2-bedroom, first up we have the 560 2-bedroom compact. Generally, it's a dumbbell concept. And if we were to compare it to a 646 square feet, this is actually a 2-bed, 2-bath. Today, the 2-bed 1-bath is actually starting from 1.17 million. I would say that very easily, if we talk about new launch and if the take-up rate is good, by the time when it's our queue for the 2-bed 1-bath, it may be 1.2 million already. Whereas for the 2-bed 2-bath, right, the prices are very close at 1.2x million. So what I'm trying to say here is that today, if the prices is very close between the 2-bed 1-bath and the 2-bed 2-bath, go for the 2-bed 2-bath.
No-brainer, I would say.
It will generally make you a safer purchase. But the downside for the 2 bedrooms is that the exit may be slower as the demand in this area is still at the 3 and 4 bedrooms. Now, let's continue to move on. For the 2-bedroom premium, 689 to 700 square feet. First time we are seeing 2 bedrooms, developer actually built home shelter, which is quite uncommon lah. I think they do understand that in these demographics, people will need storage. So they actually design the home shelter to be within the unit itself. So now we talk about the 700 square feet unit. This layout, I personally favor it the most. For this 700 square feet, 2-bed 2-bath, right, you actually have an enclosed kitchen that even comes with a window. Alright?
It's very rare to see.
Yes, and even the toilet actually comes with window. So all this makes it very favorable for small family to live in, or even for elderly to right size.
But I believe this unit type have very little unit only, right?
Correct. If I'm not wrong, it has maybe less than 20 units.
Okay, I understand.
Next, we move on to the 2-bedroom premium. Basically, it's the 2+ study, which is the 721 square feet. One thing very good that the developer is done is that for this 721 square feet, they can still have a study as well as a home shelter. Usually for such layout like this, we will be looking at either 753 square feet or up to 797 square feet. So I think it's quite amazing that with harmonization, they can actually do a 2+ study with a home shelter at 721 square feet. To sum up for our 2-bedroom picks, our top picks will still be the 700 square feet layout. This will be our number 1 selection Number 1. Number 2 will be the 721 square feet. This will be our number 2. And our third one will be the 689 square feet. Next, let's take a look at the 3-bedroom. This round for Narra, the 3-bedrooms, I would say is the spotlight. In today's market, 3-bedroom at the 1.6 range for new properties are really quite hard to find. I think we have one buyer who wanted to find a 3-bedroom. We searched everywhere, even the resale property cost more than 1.6 million.
Yeah, correct.
Let's take a look at the layout for the 3-bedrooms. Whether is it good or not. I mean, you can sell very cheap, but if the layout is not good, it's not going to sell in future. So let's take a look at that. So now we'll first look at the 818 square feet 3-bedroom compact. This will be priced at starting from 1.6x million. What's good for this layout is that for a compact, you will also get an enclosed kitchen. And not only that, comes with window. Even the toilet also comes with window. I would say this round, developer has put more effort for the 3-bedrooms. Because what we see, I think in Dairy Farm, we don't have windows for the 3-bedroom compact. Next, let's take a look at the 872 square feet. Actually, the 872 square feet and the 818 3-bedroom compact is quite similar, just that for the 872, right, it comes with a flexi room. So this flexi room, you can do it as a maid's room or do it as a study. It becomes very versatile. And I would personally prefer this 872 square feet if I were a HDB upgrader, because today, if I have family members staying with me, I would think that the flexi room comes in very handy for me.
Or rather, small family in today's context, usually you will have helper lah.
Correct.
And helper can stay here.
Correct. But I will still need to see the price on the launch day itself. If today the price is very close, right? Let's say if the price 872 I can get at 1.6 plus to 1.7, I will surely go for the 872 square feet. But if today the 818 and the 872 square feet price gap is very far apart, I'm talking about 1.9 million for the 872, then I will fall back to the 818 square feet. Because generally the 818 square feet, I would say it's still quite functional, just that it doesn't have a flexi room to begin with. Next, let's take a look at the 3-bedroom premium. 3-bedroom premium, 1001 square feet and 1012 square feet generally have not much difference, just that at the foyer area, one is bigger and one is smaller.
In the resale, I don't think this is big difference. Really have to see the entry price already when during the launch.
Correct.
So premium, there is a lot of layout. So this is another 2 type, C5PS.
Which is the 1023 square feet and the 990 square feet. I would say these two layout, right, Don't have foyer. Once you enter, right, straight away you get to see the balcony. So again, comes to the price point. If today the 990 square feet and the 1012 square feet is quite close, I would say go for the 1012 square feet. Previously, we were marketing a unit in another project. We realized that the one with foyer generally is more well-liked than the one without foyer. I think two reasons lah. First is you have the privacy, and another thing it may not be applicable to everyone, but sometimes feng shui people still like the foyer to actually help them to show off some of the thing, and not once you open straight away you see the balcony.
So now it's another premium layout, C7P and C8P.
Correct. C7P and C8P, basically not much difference.
But I think C8P is more rare in today's market because like most of the unit is the portrait kind of living area, but this one go in is landscape. You see what I mean? You go in from the entrance, and this one is like portrait. Then go in, this one is the landscape. So I think a bit special for me lah. I didn't see this a lot in current market.
Correct. This one you definitely have a lot of privacy. Nobody will be standing here lah. So basically you have the best privacy. Again, this will be the 3-bedroom premium plus study. What is very interesting for the premium plus study, right, is the 1152 square feet layout in terms of size is actually identical to the 4-bedroom compact, which we will take a closer look later at the 4-bedroom. So 1152 and 1173, generally not much difference. Again, it's more on the foyer area. That's just the main difference. Now we take a look at the 4-bedroom. Just now I mentioned that the size is identical between the 3 plus study and the 4-bedroom.
So since same size, which type we will buy? You will buy 3-bedder or 4-bedder?
I will go for 4-bedroom.
Okay.
There are some videos that says that 3 plus study is better, but our preference is the 4-bedroom. I think we serve a buyer in Bellwoods. There's also this scenario whereby you can get the same size for a 3 plus study and a 4-bedroom. And ultimately, our buyer picked the 4-bedroom because it's simple. Those who need a 4-bedroom will still need a 4-bedroom. So for the 3 plus study, right, over here, this becomes a flexi room whereby you have an option to convert it into a 4-bedroom. But I would say this is a real proper 4-bedroom that you can get in the market. But of course, end day, we will still need to see whether the launch prices are the price also identical towards the size. If the price is identical, then for us, it's no-brainer, go for the 4-bedroom. But if there is a huge gap between the 3 plus S1152 and the 4-bedroom 1152, then that's where you may need to reconsider again. Okay, so the 4-bedroom premium comes in very interestingly. The size is rather huge at 1378 square feet. It is even comparable to some of the 5-bedrooms that's available if we talk about harmonization. Why this one, the developer actually built this size? From what I heard is that they are actually drawing reference from what they built in Jadescape. Jadescape, the biggest unit, actually make the most profit. And I think what they are doing over in Narra, right, is that they want to build a very good size 4-bedroom for the homeowners over here, so that in future, when they really want to sell to someone who has a big family, they are able to exit very easily. So I think the strategy for these 4-bedroom premium owners over here is that really we are looking at long term. Today, if you decide to buy this, it's really to stay. At the same time, if you really have this idea to sell, maybe you can adopt this strategy. You stay and then you set a very high price, ridiculous price, and wait for someone to really accept the price after they have seen the layout. And that's what exactly happened to Jadescape.
So if you have any question, feel free to drop us a PM. If not, I will see you in the next
Next one. See you. Thank you.